Alright, let's get this started.
I have 1 week to finish this repaint of a Piatzawakawakasaurus before my vacation begins. Now my goal at first was to just paint the Piatzawakawakasaurus from Dinosaur King, which I already did for my only beta toy, but this was an actual Piatzawakawakasaurus, despite the fact it looks extremely different. So yeah, I'm doing that same paint job again, and of course I just start by lathering the whole figure in black. Usually when I start a repaint, I'm like, oh, do I want to do this because I actually like the paint on it? But this time, nah, because I don't really care about the paint job on this guy. Like the Orcaraptor, for example. I'm a little more hesitant to give it a repaint because I actually like the way it already looks. But this Piatzawakawakasaurus, don't care about how it looks right now because it only exists to get repainted. It took a few coats before I finally drenched this thing into the black, inky abyss of Bendy and the Dark Revival. But somewhere along the way, I was wondering if this was really the right way to go. Because this guy looks so different from the Dinosaur King variant that how would I manage the red stripes? I mean, I'm gonna color the crests red and I'm also gonna give it red stripes? That just seems a bit weird, isn't it? But then, it hit me. If I'm just passing this off as a young Yangchuanasaurus, then why don't I make this an in-between of the already existing Mini-Me and Tiny? And with that, I started painting his crests and everything that was just along his back the same red that I used on the Yangchuanasaurus repaint. Now, I did have to wait a while for the first coat to dry up before applying more coats of red. Unlike black, where I can just splash it onto anything and it'll stick no problem, red needs to be lathered on multiple times before you finally get the proper red color to be prominent. Once that was done, I moved on to the belly, but instead of using the camel color that I used on the Yangchuanasaurus, I used a hazy moon for the belly, as if it's just starting to gain that color. Because again, this is meant to be a transitional period, the middle stage, the teenager, if you will. I also added a single coat of red striping along in just certain areas that made sense that was already on the beta figure, and now I'm putting it on the Piatzawakawakasaurus figure. Though I didn't film myself doing this part because it just felt like a simple thing. I did, however, film myself doing the claws because I do love giving my dinosaurs a good old pedicure, using that obsidian glossy paint. Then came the second hardest part of this figure, the eyes. Painting it blue because the Piatzawakawakasaurus actually does have blue eyes, except instead of that white blank pupil that the beta figure has, I gave this one an actual pupil as if it's growing into those eyes that the Yangchuanosaurus has, which are blood red. And then we get to the real hardest part of this figure, which was painting the inside of the mouth a bright pink, because, as we know, the Piatzawakawakasaurus in the anime has this sort of venom theme going on with it. It's just spraying toxic fumes from its mouth. So I want to replicate that in this Piatzawakawakasaurus, but it was very difficult to get the pink paint to stick in the mouth because I think the mouth has like some sort of glossy coat that keeps paint from just sticking, and at the same time the pink is also very hard to just get to stick onto something in general, so it took multiple coats before I finally just had a big mess of pink in his mouth. Then I also added a color shift coat of pink. I think it was pink or magenta, I don't remember what it was. But I added that to give it like just some sort of like a special flashy color inside of its mouth. I had to use some hazy moon for the teeth again because they were all a mess at this point. Then I sealed it all up with a satin gloss and satin regular and finished.
This dude is all done. As you can see there, those stripes that I said I didn't film. There's the new teeth, and also I did this is the thing that happens with all figures. When I'm applying satin gloss, the matte varnish, the thing that seals up the paint, I always end up shaving off a bit of the paint while brushing, so you can see the original red markings that were under there are coming out. You can also see a terrible job on the eye. The pupil just doesn't look right. The eyes? Oh no, even the teeth, they're not. I mean, I guess that's just paint rubbing from when this is why I try my best not to paint the teeth, because stuff like this can happen with these Mattel figures where the teeth aren't really lined up, so they end up marking on each other. You can see right there it's happening, right back there it's happening, but inside the mouth you can see that special glossy color shift mouth paint, and just a big mess inside them. It actually looks a lot better than I thought, but with just the pink it was just a big mess of colors. You can also see there's a bit of brushing with the hazy moon in certain areas to show that it's like evolving into its markings that big old tiny here has. The crests and whatever these are all colored in. That little turkey giblet at the bottom is actually the hazy moon, because you actually have something similar, but it's a lot less prominent. And yeah, now we just have the baby mini me that is the actual colors of the Piatzawakawakasaurus from Dinosaur King. Then we have the middle stage, which is sort of an in-between of this guy growing out of those red stripings and into the more beige-esque colors, as well as gaining a pupil, and then gaining blood red eyes, and just a whole lot more of the camel color. And a lot brighter red on the crests as well. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how this paint job turned out, again, because of the quality of this figure. It is an okay sculpt, but just not... It doesn't seem very good quality. Like Mattel, even Mattel seems like they didn't put this figure together very well. Especially with the mouth, it seems like there's some bits that are just not very well put together. But I just rolled with it, and I'm glad I finally have like a whole Yangchuanasaurus family here. The baby, the juvenile, and the grown-up. I know none of these are the same species. That guy's that's just a baby velociraptor. That's, again, Piatzawakawakasaurus, and this is a Yangchuanasaurus. But it just works out well. I don't really care about what species they are. I mean, even then, this is a Yangchuanasaurus, and his son in the anime was a Piatzawakawakasaurus, so it doesn't really matter anyway. They're all adopted. It's all good. Yeah, that's the end of this video. Next repaint, I would say it's the Pentaceratops, but let's be honest, I'm just going to push it aside in favor of someone else. And if you watched my future repaints video, you'll know who I have in mind and who I'm gonna do. Actually, when I get back, I'm gonna repaint a Stegosaurus and start that project that I teased at the end of that video. Whether you watch it or not, I don't know. Basically, this guy is probably next. I guarantee it. Maybe not this exact Stegosaurus, but a Stegosaurus is gonna be repainted. It's most likely gonna be this one, because this one does have something attached to it. And then if this thing only works on this Stegosaurus. So if I end up painting it, then I'm not going to be able to use this as often, because it's going to be like just weird to attach it. It's going to scrub off paint while I'm attaching it. It's just going to be annoying. This one doesn't have anything attached, and I know you're thinking, but then this is a Lost World Stegosaurus. Well, it doesn't really matter. There's going to be a Hammond Collection one eventually, so I have no attachments to this paint job anyway. So yeah, you're going to be repainted into something special.
Hey guys, thanks for watching the video from beginning to end. If you want to see more, subscribe to the channel and join the Zainreborn community. See you in the next one. Bye-bye. Bye!